to catch up a little bit on pulling out some weeds. And as I have zero patience with pulling weeds and taking care of things in the garden, there are things that I'm gifted in, this is not one of them at all. I just pull them out really, really quick. You know how it goes, like, oh, this is some fake grass or whatever it is, I'll just take it out, and this seems to be also a plant that shouldn't be there, that I pull it out, and my kids, in their enthusiasm, they were also part of that game, and in no time all the weeds were out. They're like, yeah, great. Oh. A few days later, I mean, it's not rocket science, you see the green, wonderful plants growing up all again. And as a matter of fact, I brought some of them with me today. I just pulled them from my backyard. And if you would see the grass in the front, most of it seems to be grass. But a lot of it, particularly the higher stuff, is not even grass, it's just all weeds. And you look at it, it's like, I would like to curse those weeds, you know, I cannot stand that stuff at all.
We never need to cut the grass.
It's amazing, it's amazing. Last year, funny story. I did the bad news for good news stories. This is a real story, something really happened. She went to Brazil to see her family after many years. And I was left with 3 kids at home. This boy was walking on his crutches, so he needed some special attention and everything. And I was running from one place to the other. I was working, I was picking up Sarah from school and splitting myself up in 3 probably, something like that. But at the same time, I needed sometimes some distraction. It's like, what am I going to do just to distract myself a little bit? Just to not all the time be thinking about how she is doing or what I still need to be doing, or my never-ending to-do list. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to do the gardening. But I thought, you know, this time around, I learned my lesson. Instead of just pulling everything out, whatever I did, I started actually pulling them out with the root. As you can see it here. And this is just a tiny little sample of much bigger stuff that's growing in our backyard particularly. As I was pulling out those weeds, and it was really a lot of stuff that was growing there, I was making one movement and I twisted my back. So I was without Janine, without my wife, I had to take care of 3 children. He was walking on crutches and I needed to be helping him. I had several responsibilities in church and I was walking like this. I said, like, I will never ever do gardening in my life. You recognize that sometimes that you do a job and you want to do it from the best intentions of your heart and like, oh, you know, if I could just get on with it. If you don't have a garden, if you just have an apartment or something like that, that's probably a blessing, I suppose. Yes. I'm going to tell you another funny story, and you will see the connections between the two. I've got here a wonder pill from, actually 2 wonder pills that you need to take together, and they're from Brazil. Yeah, we have our own drugs. And many years ago, when I didn't speak Portuguese, it was I think in 2004, 2005, something like that, every time it would be winter in Brazil, it would be very similar weather to what it is here in Perth. Chilly, windy, not so nice. And I would always get a cold, or sometimes a really, really, really bad cold. So Janine said, like, you know, why don't you go to the pharmacist and you buy Naldicon? And it's like, and I spoke hardly any Portuguese. So I went, I bought Naldicon with my broken Portuguese. And you know how men are, right? Do men ever read the manual or the prescription or any of that stuff?
No.
No, they don't. Yes.
Never.
I do. Alright, well, you might be the exception to the rule. But Naldicon is an amazing pill. It has paracetamol, it has some other elements and stuff, but the thing with it is, you need to take a yellow and you need to take a white pill. And for somebody that is really clumsy in many areas, I was just looking at it and it's like, she just said, oh, you need to take 2. Something like that. It's like, okay, I'll take 2. 1, 2. But I didn't look at the yellow and at the white, so I took 2 of the same, thinking like, oh, that's probably the dosage, that's probably what you need to do. Because my head was exploding, you know, I couldn't breathe, I had a cold, I was feeling horrible. And I took 2 of those. Now they go like, oh, in no time you will be on your feet again, no worries. I was waiting, and waiting, waiting, I said like, Janine, I'm not so sure, but this medicine is not doing anything. Like, what did you do? She probably doesn't even remember the story, but I never forgot. Oh, you forgot? Well, I took Noticon. It's like, Patrick, did you read this prescription? It's like, no. I'm like, okay. You need to take a yellow and a white one. Did you take a yellow and a white one? You know, that's where shame kicks in, and you said like, yeah, I took a yellow and a white one. That was my shame story. Why am I telling these two stories about weeds, about pulling out weeds with roots, without roots, or taking a medicine the wrong way or the right way? Last week I was talking obviously about bad news and about good news. You can only talk about good news when you also have bad news. If not, it's just news. And we can understand that if we take things out in our life, let's call them sin or whatever is wrong, and we just take it from the surface and the roots stay in the ground, before you know it, something pops up again and you again have a problem. The same you could understand the gospel, like if you understand that the gospel is the remedy, is the cure to everything that's wrong inside of us, but you take 2 white pills instead of a white pill and a yellow pill, guess what? It's still not going to work. I mean, you still have the power of that can change you in your hands, but if you apply it in the wrong way, because you might misunderstand it or you didn't read the manual, that's still a problem. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Thank you. Yes.